Hello everyone. Today I'll be presenting an all levels yoga class for you. That means that it's for all levels, of course. So you can be a beginner and give this a try, maybe do a little bit of it and then add on a little bit more each time, or use the modifications that I use in some of the poses that are a little more challenging. Maybe even you just watch it once or twice just to kind of get the feel for it and then you try doing it. You can add a little bit more if you're more advanced. I always recommend if you want to make this a little bit longer or even a little bit more challenging, you can pause at certain points and I'll tell you some of those points, and you can continue doing those moves maybe for a longer period of time and then come back to what I'm doing again on the mat. You can have some props with you, so a strap is often recommended, especially if we have tight hamstrings. And if you don't have a yoga strap, don't sweat it. Just use a belt from a robe or a necktie or something that's long you can hold on to. And a set of yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, again, don't sweat it. Maybe you can just use a couple books stacked up or something. You just want to make sure it's something that's not going to slide if you put your hands on it, okay? And again, not necessary. If you don't have these props, don't worry about it. So we're going to start in our mountain pose. And with all of our poses, we want to keep our joints safe. So we start with our feet separated so that our ankles come underneath our knees underneath our hips, and our hips underneath our shoulders. Take a moment, maybe even rock back and forth on the feet, kind of get your footing, ground yourself, and then take a moment to separate the toes and place them down on the floor. Notice your feet holding you nice and strong. So in any pose, where we're connected to the floor is our foundation. That's what's holding us up. So when we have a strong foundation, then the rest of the pose is strong as well. So take a moment, again, feel that. Maybe lift up through the arches. You'll notice the legs lengthen and kind of strengthen a little bit. We want to get that sensation of doing up our zipper from our navel to our ribs, Uddiyana Bandha, so it's going to hold our core so that it protects our back as we move as well. Create some space right up the spine. Let the shoulders draw down just to where shoulder blades are supposed to be. And arms are strong, so there's some dynamic tension in the fingers here. And then lift up through the chin, through the crown of the head, almost like there's a string pulling you up nice and tall. Take a few breaths here and just check in with your breath. Inhaling through nose, exhaling through nose if you can. If not, don't get worried about it, just please keep breathing. And as we inhale here, notice where the breath goes. And then exhale, keep that dynamic tension, but just let things settle a little bit more. And maybe if you like, do that one or two more times, seeing if you can just find a little more space in the heart center, maybe feel a little taller, a little more grounded. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to circle sweep the arms behind us. Come up, palms come together, and then we sink. So inhale, let's circle sweep, palms come together. Exhale, we bend the knees, we shift the hips back. So we're flowing a version of chair here. Starting to warm up the body. So we have that nice belly brace, especially anytime we're tipping from the hips. We want to support our spine. We want to keep long, right through the crown of the head. And again, making sure we're not pushing the knees forward. So we're sending the hips back like we're about to sit in a chair. Maybe starting to feel the palms as they come together. Let's do one more like that. And then pause with palms at heart center, and then just hold. Breathe. Press the palms a little bit more, actively engage upper body, draw shoulders down. So now we're gonna do a different flowing chair. We're gonna add on to that. So circle sweep, palms flat, lower the arms down, kind of like zombie arms. And then circle sweep and fold, soften the knees, big swan dive here. So hands can even rest on the legs if we're not ready for that big fold. We can bend the knees lots, we can release head and neck. Take one or two breaths here, then we're gonna make that a little quicker as we put those together. So let's come up to a flat back, bracing, just gazing forward. Bend the knees, palms at heart, find that original chair. Circle sweep the arms, palms flat, find your chair. Circle sweep, fold. Pause there for a breath, and then with your next inhale, come to flat back. Bend the knees, palms come to heart. Circle sweep, find that version of chair, zombie arms. Circle sweep, let's fold. Come up to that flat back. Bend the knees, find your chair. We call that walking up the mountain. Circle sweep, fold, find our chair. Circle sweep, fold. Come up to that flat back. Bend the knees, palms at heart. Let's do that one more time. Circle sweep. Find your chair. Circle sweep. Fold. Come up to that flat back. Bend the knees, palms at heart. Pause. Take one more breath here. Check in with that belly brace. And then just stand tall. Find the top of your mat if you aren't already there, and reset yourself in that mountain pose. So again, feet hip distance apart. Check in, belly's braced. So we're going to do that flow one time. Circle sweep, find your chair. Circle sweep, let's fold. And then we're going to stay down here. So we're going to move through some sun salutations. Surya Namaskar. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Soften knees. Fingertips down, your right leg's going to step back, releasing the top of the foot. So our first lunge here. Bracing so we're not pushing the belly out, and then we're lowering the hips to stretch that hip flexor. Draw shoulders down. Good. Inhale, curl toes. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. So we spread the fingers, push against the floor, find length, bend the knees a little if we need to. Elbows are soft. You can come here anytime you need to just hang out. Otherwise, we're going to soften the knees right now. Exhale to resting pose, just for a breath or two, but know you can come here anytime you like. Extending the arms fully, pick up the head, shift forward, come through kneeling plank, tuck the elbows, lower all the way down. Find some length, and then just a baby cobra to start, keeping those elbows tucked in. Inhale to release, curl toes. Exhale, push, down dog. Let's take our gaze forward as we exhale, right leg up and through, making sure we get the knee over top of the ankle, and then we brace and we start to lower that back hip. Draw shoulders down, create space in the chest. Next, inhale, we curl the toes. Exhale, we step forward, feet hip distance, finding that fold. Coming up to flat back, bending the knees, palms to heart. Circle sweep. Find our chair, arms flat. Circle sweep, let's fold. Soften knees, fingertips down, right leg steps back. We release the knee on top of the foot. And then this time, if we're ready, we can come all the way up and sink a little bit. Palms can also be at heart center here. Inhale to release. Exhale to down dog. Shift forward to your plank. Spread fingers. Now, last time we came to the knees, you can come to the knees again, stay on the toes, tuck those elbows, lower all the way down. Find length, press through the tops of the feet, and perhaps come up a little bit taller or higher in our cobra. Elbows are soft. Good. Inhale to release. Exhale to down dog. Taking our gaze forward, picking up the right leg, sweeping it through, finding that lunge, knee over top of ankle. If we're ready, coming all the way up, sinking in the hips, palms can be at heart. Inhale to release. Exhale, step forward, folding, bracing, coming up to flat back. Bend the knees, find your chair. Let's do that one more time. Circle sweep, palms flat as we come down to chair. Circle sweep, let's fold. Soften knees, fingertips down, right leg back. This time the option to keep that leg off the floor, a long, low lunge. Opening chest. Listen for the change. Exhale, back to plank. So on the toes or on the knees. Pause here. Take a breath or two. Squeezing thighs, we push against the floor, we soften elbows. Neck is long, tuck the elbows in, lower all the way down. Find length, press through the tops of the feet, and lift. Now remember, your cobra can be small. Your choice. Inhale to release, curl toes. Exhale, push, down dog. Let's take our gaze forward. Exhale the right leg up and through. Option to lower the knee or keep that knee up in that long, low lunge. Next exhale, we step forward. Come up to a flat back, bracing. Soften knees, palms at heart. Find our chair. Good. Circle sweep. Find our chair, palms down. Circle sweep. Fold. Breathe. Take a few breaths here. Release head and neck if that feels good. Maybe come up to that flat back And then bend one knee and kind of shift your weight side to side. Hands can be above or below the knees, not directly on them. And then come back to center. Exhale to fold again. Soften knees. Sweep all the way up. Find that chair, palms flat. Breathe. Draw shoulders down. Option to lift the arms a little bit here. Make it a little more challenging on the core. We have to brace a bit harder. As always, palms can be at heart center. Listening up. Circle sweep. Interlace the fingers. Grow tall. Press down on both feet. Find length and start to open up. Standing back bend. So we start to open up the front body here. Inhale, grow taller, feel separation in the ribs. Exhale, maybe we lean back a little bit more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tip. Opening throat if we can. One more. Big breath. Come back to center. Exhale, release, fold. Soften knees. Fingertips come down. Right leg's going to step back. Drop the heel down. Heels line up with each other, or the heel and the arch of that back foot line up with each other. Find warrior one. Adjust close as needed. So we bend our left leg, which is out in front. If I look past the inside of my knee, I should see my big toe. The right leg is very strong. It's supporting me. So I'm squeezing my thigh. I'm pressing the pinky edge of the foot down, but also the big toe edge. And then I'm just turning my shoulders as far as my body lets me. So if you put your hands on your hips, they're probably not going to be square, and that's okay. Palms can be at heart, or we can extend. We can also bend the elbows, coming to goalpost or cactus arms, and just gaze forward. So check in with your foundation. Feet, feel grounded. Both feet pressing into the floor. Notice where your feet are pressing. So if you've been coming to my classes for a long time, something I discovered recently was that I tended to put more weight on the front of my foot, the ball of my foot, and my toes, which caused my calves to be sore more than they should have been. So now that I've been focusing on pressing the whole foot down, the heel included, that problem has now gone away. Take a big breath. And then with the next exhale, we're just going to turn the shoulders so they come over top of hips. Find your warrior two. Now you can stay in a narrower stance. You can narrow it a little more if you like I just did, or you can get even wider so we use the legs a bit more. So yogi's choice. We just want to make sure that this knee is over top of the ankle or even slightly behind it. We're bracing, slight pelvic tilt here. Find your breath. And then the front palm's going to flip up. Exhale, we're going to tip backwards, finding our reverse warrior. So the hand can be above or below the knee. It can come to the low back or it can come to the hip. Find some length, reach up to the sky, and then sink a bit if you can. Now if you want to add on to this hand can come to the back and reach up towards the opposite shoulder. And then we open up and tip a little bit more, creating some space. Inhale here. Use the exhale to find warrior two again. Straighten left leg. Make sure we're not locking the knee. Tip forward. Let's find our triangle. And this is where you might want to use a block. So sometimes we rest the hand on the leg and we can put a bit of pressure on the leg if we don't realize we're doing it. So it's nice to have the block for that extra lift. So we actually get a little bit of traction here. So that's yogi's choice. You can also reach past the leg towards the floor. So we're squeezing the ribs on the low side, opening up. This is a twist. We're turning those shoulders. Now we're going to get a little bit of flow going here. So pressing the feet down, brace, inhale. Good. Use the exhale to come back up. Inhale, exhale, tip back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, tip forward. So that's our flow. Inhale, exhale back. Inhale, exhale forward. Inhale, and you can add on that sweep and that opening. Inhale, tip. A few more times. Inhale, reverse, strong feet. We tip, last time. Inhale, open. Inhale, we tip. Pause here, take a breath. Let's come back up. Bend the knee, find your warrior two. Take a breath or two here. And then bring hands to hips. We're just going to push off with that back leg. Find the top of our mat in mountain pose again. Release the arms. Inhale, circle sweep. Find our chair, palms facing down. Circle sweep. Let's fold. Soften knees, fingertips come down. This time the left leg steps back. We drop down that heel. Find our warrior one on the other side. I'm just going to turn around so far you can see me a bit better and I can see you. So right knee is bent. We want to set it up for safety. Knee over top of ankle or slightly behind. We want to see that big toe. Left leg, remember their supporting leg. It's long, strong, pressing the whole foot down. Warrior one, we turn the shoulders as far as our body lets us. Palms can be at heart. We can reach up or we can find those goalpost arms, opening up the chest a little bit. Breathe. Maybe we sink. Check in with our belly brace. Check in with that strong back leg. And then with our next exhale, let's find warrior two. Check in again. Front palm flips up. Exhale, we go backwards. Finding our reverse warrior. So setting it up. So hand above or below the knee. Can also be at our hip. Can also be to our low back. Create space. Reach. Get tall. Feel space between the ribs here. Sink if you can. And then if you like, you can wrap the arm. Try to reach for the shoulder and open up a little bit more. So staying there and breathing, just checking out the arm. When I say it comes to the other shoulder, that's what it looks like. Okay, kind of like we're going to reach behind and grab our fingers. Good, one more breath here. And then with the exhale, find your warrior two. Good, straighten that leg. Shift forward and find your triangle on this side. So hand above or below the knee, we can reach to our block or we can reach beyond towards the floor. Create space. Top arm, again, can be to the low back if we're taking care of our shoulder. Take a few breaths here. We can challenge our balance by looking up a little bit. You might notice you get a little bit wobbly. Then you can just look down or to the side again. Press down on the feet. Remember our foundation. Let's take one more breath here. And then let's find that flow again. So bracing, we come up and then we tip back. Inhale to center. Exhale, we tip. Flowing this. Inhaling and exhaling. Don't get hung up on when you're inhaling and exhaling. Just keep breathing. You'll start to figure out a natural rhythm as you get used to this. You can add that a little bit more. Flowing with your breath. Let's do one more. And then we're going to take a pause in that triangle. Take a few breaths there. Maybe bring the arm to the low back, open the shoulder a little bit more. Squeezing the ribs. Remember, it's a twist, so we want to turn those shoulders. Look up to challenge your balance. And then start to soften that knee as we draw ourselves back up. Find our warrior two again. A few breaths here. Checking in again, knee, belly brace, breath. Float the hands to the hips, step forward, find your mountain. Pause, check in. Good, let's circle sweep the arms, find our chair, palms facing down. Circle sweep, let's fold. Soften knees, fingertips come down. Let's take the left leg back, so the right leg's forward. Drop the heel and find our warrior one again. So set it up. Arms can be up, palms can be at heart. Take a few breaths just checking in here, bracing. And then really ground through the feet and really brace. Let's tip forward, send the arms behind us, palms face in, like we're about to fly. Now you can stay right here, or you can interlace the hands and lift, and then maybe start to tuck your shoulder in towards your knee. So that's yogi's choice there. So some modifications. One more breath wherever you are. And then brace, lift yourself all the way back up. Release to warrior one. Find the warrior two. So we're just turning shoulders, legs stay the same. Shift forward, forearm comes to thigh, and we open up to side angle. Now that arm can reach up, it can come to the low back, or we can reach past the ear, getting a nice long line. And maybe we sink. Breathe here. Maybe we reach to a block or to the floor. Brace. With your next exhale, draw back up to warrior two. Good. Flow your hands to your hips, and then turn your feet to the wide edge of your mat. And you just want to turn the toes in a little bit, so you're just a tiny bit pigeon-toed. Keeping hands on hips, we want to brace, and then we're going to start to fold, coming to that flat back. And then if we like, we can release hands. So this is where you can find a block, and you can turn it either direction to give you some lift, to bring the earth closer to you, or if you can, you make your way down to the floor. Release head and neck. Knees are a little bit soft, they're just not locked. And then maybe we find our big toes with the two fingers that make the peace symbol. And we bend the knees slightly and just bend the elbows, drawing ourselves down just a little bit more. Maybe. Nice breaths here. Maybe getting a little release with each exhale. Getting a little more traction, holding onto those big toes. Good. If we got the toes, let's release them. Let's take the feet a little bit wider. So you'll see I'm heel toeing, almost kind of as wide as I can go. And then we're going to shift our weight to one side, walking the hands over, and we're going to get a side lunge here, so a stretch. Now we're going to sink in this knee, and if we can, we're going to wrap this arm around and bring this arm around to catch the hand. 2 big breaths here. That's it. That's because that's all I can handle. After that second breath, release the hands back down. Start to walk to the other side, shifting. So remember, you can just stay in this side lunge here, or you can wrap, you can sink a little deeper and bring the arm around to catch the fingertips. 2 breaths here. After that second breath, hands come back down. Let's walk back to the middle. So this time toes are about 45 degrees. Soften the knees. Let's roll up and find our goddess pose. So sinking in the knees. Now, I'm not happy with where my knees are right now. I want to keep them safe. So I want to tuck my heels in a little bit so I can sink straight down, kind of like a sumo squat. And then arms are open. Palms, always an option. So take a few breaths here. And then we're going to get into a little bit of a flow. So you want to be wide enough that as you go side to side, your knees aren't going to push past where your toes are. Okay, they can go past the ankle a little bit, just not the toes. We just want to keep the joints safe. So big inhale here. And then exhale, push up. Inhale, come to one side. Exhale, inhale down. Exhale up, switching sides. So if that inhale and exhale format doesn't work for you, just switch it. So you're exhaling, inhaling, or the opposite of what I said before. So just flowing this. Almost make it meditative, Tai Chi-like. You can watch your hands as they move through space. Checking in with your footing, grounding yourself, bracing. Feeling the strength of your legs. Let's do one more all the way through. We're going to make our way back to the center. And when you get to the center, feel free to find goddess again, or bring palms to heart center. Take a breath here, check in. Now you can hold here, maybe even sink a little bit lower. That's going to challenge you. Or you can start to flow. Inhale, exhale, push up. Inhale, draw down. Exhale, push up. So our moonflower flow. So strong upper body here. As we draw the arms down, A little squeeze in the shoulder blades, bringing them together. And then maybe we make this more challenging if we're flowing by not going all the way up. So then we keep active engagement in the legs. And then just flow with the breath. Let's do 2 more. Take the next one up. Reach 5-pointed star. Great space. Jazz hands, if you like. And then float the hands down. Couple shoulder rolls here. And then let's find our warrior 2 where we started. So you can hold here for a couple breaths. If you want to challenge yourself today, brace a little harder, pick up the heels. Lower them down. Pick up the heels. Lower them down. Let's do 2 more. Pick up the heels. Woo! Lower them down. Last time. Pick up the heels. Lower them down. Float hands to hips, back leg steps forward. Find your mountain pose, top of your mat. We get to do that all again on side 2. So circle sweep the arms, find your chair. Circle sweep again, find your forward fold. Soften knees, fingertips come down. This time the right leg steps back. I'm going to change sides again. So we find our warrior 1 on this side. Setting up our footing, palms at heart, arms up, or goalpost arms. Sink a bit if you can. Check in with your foundation, your feet, your legs, sort of squeezing that glute. Strong thigh. Of course, you can stay here, or you can brace a little bit, start to tip, send the arms back, palms face each other. And of course, you can stay right here, or you can interlace the hands, lift them, and maybe start to tuck your shoulder in towards your knee. Strong feet still here. Bracing, protect that back. Wherever you are, finish 1 more breath. And then use the exhale to draw yourself back up, finding that warrior 1 again. Just check in, and then with your exhale, find warrior 2. Shoulders down, gazing forward. Let's shift forward. Forearm comes down. Find our side angle. So again, arm can be up. It can be to the low back. We can reach past the ear. Maybe we sink. Really challenge ourselves. Maybe we go to a block or the floor. Maybe we look up if that's comfortable for the neck. With our next exhale, let's draw back up to that warrior 2. Float hands to hips. Turn the feet. So again, they come so the toes are pointing in just a little bit. Hands stay on the hips. Brace. We're going to start to fold. And then if we can, we reach to a block or to the floor. We release head and neck. Maybe we shake. Maybe we nod. Maybe we find the big toes and get a little traction. Soften the knees. Pull. So we bend the elbows. Breathe. Use the exhale to find a little bit more. If you can, if you're ready. And then if we found the big toes, let's release. Hands come to the floor to a block. And let's scooch the feet a little bit wider. So we're going to walk the hands to find that side lunge on this side. Good, and maybe we get really low and wrap for a couple breaths. Bring the hands back in front. Shift to the other side. We can stay here. We can have hands on that block. We can wrap. Good. Hands come back down. Come back to center. Toes out about 45 degrees. I want to walk mine in a little bit for support. And then we're going to roll up, finding that goddess pose. So checking in. And then we're going to find that flow again. So pressing up, going to one side, coming to the center, back down, up to the other side. So just finding fluid movement. Maybe watching the hands the whole time, making it almost meditative. Just go with the flow. Feels so nice to just move fluidly. Let's do one more, all the way through. Making our way back to the center. Finding goddess arms, palms at heart. So of course you can stay right here. Maybe you sink, hang out, challenge yourself. Maybe you start that flow. A little stronger in the upper body, creating space in the chest, activating the muscles in the back. And again, we can challenge ourselves by not going all the way up. Let's do two more. And then take the next one up, 5-pointed star. Get tall, reach through fingertips, strong legs, knees soft. Maybe look up a little bit. Shine. Float the arms down. Step forward with that back leg. Find your mountain pose again. Circle sweep. Let's find our chair. Circle sweep, let's fold. Soften knees, fingertips come down, right leg steps back. Let's find our warrior one. Now I'm going to give you the option to stay right here, just hang out. Maybe you use this as a little bit of a break, have the arms down, or we can come to warrior three. So we challenge our balance a little bit. I'm going to do this warrior three with my palms at heart center. Part of that is for space, and so I stay on screen. Maybe take the arms out wide like an airplane for a little more balance, or send them straight out alongside ears. So just starting to shift our weight to our left leg. Hips square up as we turn the toes down and start to lift as we brace. Breathe here. Find length through the crown of the head, long neck. Try to lift the back leg up. Breathe. Good. As we come up, try not to touch. Bring the knee all the way through in front. Stand tall. Balance. Find a spot to stare at that's not moving. Focus. And then let that foot come back down, feet hip distance apart. So we're going to do that all on side two. Circle sweep. Find your chair. Circle sweep. Fold. Soften knees, fingertips down, right or left leg back, sorry, this time. So we're on the other side. Finding our warrior one. And remember, arms can be up, arms can be down, hands can be on hips. You can hang out here or start to shift your weight, this time to that right foot. We brace, we tip. So again, we can open the arms up like an airplane. We can send them alongside ears, warrior three. This is a version of warrior three with the hands together. You can also bring arms alongside as an option. Trying to get long. One more breath. And then try not to touch. Pull the knee through, stand tall. Palms come to heart if they're not already there. And then we lower the leg, feet hip distance. Last time for this, circle sweep. Find your chair. Circle sweep, fold. Soften knees, fingertips down. Let's walk back to down dog. Take a few breaths here. Find length. Push against the floor. Press the whole hand and fingers down. Spread the fingers. Soften the elbows. Tip the tailbone up to the ceiling. Maybe bend the knees a little bit more. And then work on finding length. And then maybe you can straighten the legs a bit. One or two more breaths here. Head's just freeing between the arms. Fingers spread. Let's shift forward to our plank. You can stay on the toes or come to the knees. So kneeling plank. Let's take about 6 breaths here. That would be 6 of my breaths. So we draw shoulders down, neck is nice and long. Breathe. Last breath. From knees or from toes, tuck those elbows in, lower all the way down. Find some length, press through the tops of the feet, or you can keep the toes curled. We can come up a little bit, or we can come all the way up to cobra. Take a few breaths here, drawing shoulders down, pushing. So we're not sinking into the shoulder girdle here. We want to create space. Lift up the chin a bit. One more breath. And then release, push back to resting pose. And here you can take the knees a bit wider if you like. You can also find puppy dog pose. So puppy dog, we don't have as much of a bend in the knees, so it's a little easier on the knees and maybe even the hips. And palms are just flat with forearms down. So your choice. Take a few breaths. It's kind of our rest. And then pick yourself up. We're going to flip ourselves so that we're on our butt with our legs extended. Breathe here. Again, adjust clothing as necessary. So we want to find our sits bones. This is where you might want to have a strap handy, just in case you feel you need it to keep your hamstrings safe. So with the legs nice and long, we're just going to flex the feet. So my heels, So my heels are on the floor. I get that zipper done up so I'm nice and tall. I'm supporting myself. And then my hands are either by my side, draw shoulders down, or I lift the arms up so I'm in a staff pose. So I'm making a big letter L for love. L is for love in this case. Breathe here. This is one of those poses that's more challenging than it looks. So let's take a breath, sweep the arms behind us, fingers point towards the toes, and then we just lift up and open up, creating space in the throat. Drawing shoulders down, opening chest, opening up the top of the ribs. So counteracting any sitting that we've been doing. Spend a lot of time seated, hunched over ourselves. Our muscles start to get shorter in the front body. We actually turn into hunchbacks. It can affect our breathing. It can even affect our ability to swallow properly. So we want to open up the front body as much as we can. Let's come back to center. And we're going to inhale. We want to do that zipper up. Feet don't have to be flexed here. And we start to walk the hands down the legs. So the important thing here, this is a seated forward fold. So we want to feel the hamstrings stretching here. If we start to feel impingement in the low back, we either pull back a little bit, or we can find our strap to wrap around the bottoms of our feet to keep us taller so we can maintain that brace as we fold. Or we just make sure that we maintain that brace as we fold. So as you inhale, you should lengthen, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen a bit, exhale, fold. So we're maintaining that brace, but we're using the breath to help us find depth in the pose. And let's take one more breath here. And then come all the way back up. Again, fingertips just outside hips, pointing towards our toes. And we either lift and just open up, or we lift right up and find reverse plank. So our hips come off the floor. Breathe. Maybe pointing the toes, bringing them towards each other. Try to lift the hips. So if you're really tight in the front body, this is going to hurt. So lower down, maybe come back to just this position. Wherever you are, try to take 2 more breaths. And then come forward, and let's bring the bottoms of the feet together. So just about the distance of our foot away from our body. You can hold on to the ankles, you can hold on to the big toes, and again, draw that zipper up, create space, and then just start to lean forward a little bit. Inhale, we lengthen, exhale, we fold. Now this is one of those places where you can add your blocks to give you a little bit of height, of lift. So entirely up to you. Lengthening, deepening, using our breath, lengthening, deepening. Maybe hands come to the floor. Draw shoulders down. So always staying long, supporting that back. One more breath here. And then coming back up. So let's take one leg out long, tuck the other leg in. And again, this is where you can also use a strap. So we're going to do that same stretch we just did, that seated forward fold, but one leg at a time. This is where you're going to feel perhaps some imbalances between one side and the other. So you can have that strap on your foot. Remember, you want it high up on your foot so that we're not doing any nerve damage. If we pull it, heel is on the floor, knee is soft. Lengthen, and then start to fold. And again, if we're not using a strap, same thing. We just keep lengthening, folding, lengthening, folding. Breathe. Let's take one more breath. See if you can fold even just a millimeter. And then walk yourself back up. Remove the strap if you've used the strap. And we're just going to turn or bring the leg out a little bit more and keep that other leg tucked in. So I want to turn so that my shoulder is kind of in line with this leg that's out here nice and long. And I'm just going to start to slide my arm down the leg. So it's a bit of a twist. And the hand can just rest on the forearm. And of course, we can also have the hand rest on a block if we need a little more lift there. So we squeeze the ribs so we can start to twist and open up a little bit more. So we're going to feel opening in the top ribs. And then maybe this top hand reaches towards the toes of that long foot. And again, same thing. Inhale, we lengthen, maybe we twist. Exhale, maybe we deepen. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, maybe we deepen. Inhale, exhale, maybe we can find that big toe. One or two more breaths here. And then in a grand gesture, the top hand is going to come to the floor behind the butt of the bent leg, and we're going to lift up and open up and create space right from the tips of the toes to the tips of the fingers. Breathe here. And then lower yourself down. We do that all on side two. So we start with the legs straight, other leg tucked in. Again, you can grab your strap here, do your zipper up, create that space, and then with an exhale, we start to fold. So again, we're either walking the hands down the strap or the hands down the leg. Inhale, lengthen, exhale to fold. Use the breath, inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to fold. A couple more, a few more times perhaps. Last time. Good, walk the hands back up. So we're gonna open up a little bit more. So we take that leg out to the side, we tuck this foot back in. So we're turning the body. So we're kind of looking at that bent leg so that our shoulder's in line with this straight leg. And then we can start to lean down the side. And maybe this is as far as we go. Maybe we just come to the inside of that knee. So it's gonna depend on range of motion and where we feel tightness. Start to use the breath. So we use the breath. Remember, we squeeze the ribs on the bottom, which will help to open up the ribs on the top as we twist and open up. And then maybe this top arm reaches across, and you might notice you get to a completely different place on each side. That's okay. We're doing each side separately so that we can work each side separately. Remember, we use that breath. Inhale, twist a bit, create space. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, find length, find openness. Exhale, deepen. Keep working with the breath. It's there to help you. It's there to guide you. When you focus on the breath and movement together, it makes yoga meditative. That's why it's a mindful activity. All right, here comes that grand gesture. So we sweep the arm so it comes behind the butt of the bent leg. We lift everything else up, open up, create some space, feel beautiful. You are beautiful. Show it off. Smile here. Let your eyes twinkle. and then release down. So let's bring the bottoms of those feet together again. And I'm going to give you the option to stay right here. We can add just a little bit of work for the core here. So again, you can stay here, focus, and if your hips are really tight, this is one of those poses where you might need a little bit of assistance with blocks or books or whatever you've got. And you can stay right here, just working on that, breathing through it. Otherwise, we can find our big toes, brace, lift up tall, but start to shift our weight to our sitting bones. And then we can start to lift those feet off the floor. So maybe we just kind of hover. Maybe we lift them up so shins are parallel to the floor. Maybe we open up to seated happy baby. And maybe we lengthen all the way up. Brace, breathe, draw shoulders down, stay nice and tall. Take a few more breaths wherever you are. One more breath. Bring yourself back down if you came up. Good job. Let's take the feet wide, hands behind us, and just a big windshield wipe, side to side. And then come back to center. Knees are bent. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see me. Holding on to one knee, let's gently roll ourselves down so we take care of our back. And then hug that knee in. Send the other leg long. Flex the foot, point the toes up towards the ceiling. Now again, this might be where you want to use a strap. I'll grab mine so I can show, just in case you've not done this before. So we can place the strap, again, around the foot, making sure it's high up in the arch or kind of towards the balls of the feet, and we can extend that leg. Now, if we find that's too much, just bend this leg back in again. It's going to take some of the pressure off. So that's Yogi's choice. If we're not using a strap today, we're just holding on to the leg, but we want to make sure we're not holding on to the knee. I see that a lot in class, and you're holding on to the joint, and sometimes we don't realize that we're squeezing, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. We want to keep it safe. So hands above or even below that joint, or big toe. If we're finding the big toe, we just want to make sure that the opposite hip isn't lifting. Take a few breaths. And then if we've got the strap, you might just want to take it off, put it aside as we bend the knee and find half happy baby. So we're tucking the elbow and the inside of the knee in towards each other. Bottom of the foot's facing the ceiling. So maybe we're holding on to the outside edge of the foot, maybe the inside edge, or maybe we found that big toe lock. One more breath. And then release that foot down. Send it out. Hug the other knee in. Flex the foot. Take a few breaths here. So again, if we're using the strap, finding it, bringing it around the foot, and then exhaling to extend that leg up. So again, just making sure if we're not using the strap, that we're not holding the knee joint above or below. Or pause the video and go get a belt or a tie of some sort. Just keep safe. And again, to take pressure off, we can bend the opposite leg in. Again, it takes a little bit of the pressure off. Big toe lock. If that's accessible to you, we want to make sure that we keep that hip down. So I just like to keep my hand on that hip as an option. Wherever you are, we're going to find that half happy baby. So we get rid of the strap if we're using the strap and just hold on to the foot as we bend the knee in and the elbow and the knee come in towards each other. Just a few breaths here. And then release, hug both knees in. Maybe we rock a little bit side to side. And then place the feet on the floor. We're going to do a little bit of core work here. So fingertips light on the back of the head. And we're going to go into a side crunch. We're going to keep it nice and slow. So think yogic, right? We don't rush, really, unless it's power yoga, which this is not. So take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, come across the body, lift the opposite knee, and then place it back down. With your next exhale, we change sides. So maybe a 3 count or a 4 count. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a slow down. So taking your time. Now, if you want a little bit more than this, Bend the knees up, and we're going to extend the opposite leg. So like a bicycle, but you want to keep it slow. Knees come back over hips. Shoulder comes across the midline, not the elbow, and come back in. So up to you. Now this is one of those places where you can add a little bit more and spend more time here. Maybe pause. So we're going to do, I don't even know how many we've done right now, but let's just do 2 more to each side. But if you want to increase how many you do, or we're going to come into bridge next to stretch out the abdominals. And then after bridge, maybe you pause and come back to this again. So you do a few sets. I'll leave that up to you. So after this last one, we're going to place the feet down, hands come by our side, feet hip distance apart, and you just want to bring the ankles about at the knees. So that means you should be able to touch or get very close to the back of your heels. Palms face down, take a nice big inhale, and then use the exhale to push against the floor and lift. So we're rolling chest towards chin, we're pushing up through the hips, both feet flat, pressing through all 4 corners of the feet. So what we're doing is we're stretching the front body and we're engaging that back body, posterior chain. So this is one of those places where you can kind of hang out here. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can interlace the hands underneath you and rock to the back edges of the shoulders. You notice how I just right away, just naturally said rock that way. That's how I roll. Take a couple more breaths wherever you've ended up. And then lower down. Good, let's take the legs up. Flex the feet. Hands just by our side. Palms can be up or palms down. So you can just hang out here. This is kind of like legs up the wall. Some people find this very relaxing. Or you can lower one leg till it almost touches the floor. Lift it back up. So we're getting a nice brace here, protecting the back. So again, a little bit of core work. And this is one of those things too where you can pause and add on. For today though, we're just gonna do, let's say 3 more to each side. Taking our time, checking in, breathing, not rushing. Notice the movement. Notice when you slow it down, where you feel things. Sometimes when we rush to get through things, if I tell you you're gonna do 10, some people get through them as fast as they can, but then they don't actually know where they felt it. If you slow this down, you will know where you're feeling it. So after this one, let's just tuck our knees in again. Maybe again we rock side to side. And then we're gonna come back to that bridge. So set yourself up for success, for safety. Use the exhale to lift. And again, you can hang out in your bridge here. You can do the hand clasp. If you wanna add a little bit more, lower halfway, lift. And this is again, one of those places where you can spend a little bit more time if you like, squeezing as you come up. Engaging posterior chain. Want to challenge yourself? Lift one leg. Knee can be bent, leg can be straight. If you lifted the leg, change sides. And again, knee can be bent, or we can straighten, pressing through that foot that's lifting and lowering, or you got both feet there, pressing down. Let's find our bridge and hold, lift, 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 and then lower down. Windshield wipe. Let's hug knees into chest. Now I'm going to give you some options to end class. So you can stay right here, find Shavasana. Knees can be bent or extended, legs extended. And you can hang out here as long as you like. This is where you want to stop. I'm going to actually bring us up to a seated position. And if you want, after the seated position, you can come back to this. So I'll leave that up to you. So a safe way to get to a seated position is to either roll onto your side, just like this, and roll yourself up, Or hug one or both knees, hands behind the knees, and let momentum help you come up. So find your sits bones. And we're just going to do a couple little twist stretches here. So we're going to tuck one leg in and then tuck the other leg over top. All right, if you can't, just bring the leg to the inside of the knee. Both sits bones should be on the floor. Inhale, hug this knee, create space. And then if you can, on an exhale, we twist, hug the knee a little more, place the other forearm on top. So you're going to feel a deeper stretch in that glute. And then just breathe here. You don't have to turn the head very far. Our focus here is more on the glute. One more breath. And then come back to center. We're going to untuck and retuck on side two. So inhale, hug the knee in, and maybe this is enough for you. Maybe though, we hook kind of the arm or the elbow around the knee, and then we hold on. So we're hugging it in close, and we're feeling maybe a deeper stretch in our glute. And again, we don't turn the head here. We keep our neck in line with our spine. So our spine is here, facing kind of off into the distance, and we breathe. Good, come back to center. Find just a seated position, crisscross applesauce. So this time we're going to go into more of a twist. So inhale, create that space. Exhale, twist to one side, hand comes to the outside of the knee, other hand to the floor, and we start to breathe. And then let your neck and head turn with your spine. So as we get deeper, the head goes a little bit further with us. Let the breath flow. Make sure you're not holding it here. And then use an inhale to come back to center, and exhale to change sides. One more breath here. Come back to center. Inhale, let's sweep the arms up. Interlace fingers, press palms up, look up if you can. So again, stretching in the throat. I'm going to give you a few options to play with here. You can bring the hands to the back of your head to open up this area where our shoulders and our body attaches, our chest. You can bring the hands to the low back. All right. You can bring the hands in prayer pose behind your back. All right. So remember, prayer pose is this as an option. Or you can just bring fingertips or palms to the floor and lift up. And then just look up slightly wherever you are, creating some space. Last breath here. And then this time we release, we sweep the arms up. We bring palms together, slide them to our heart center. And let's just take a moment to practice a mudra. So today our mudra is called Purna Hridaya. Hridaya. Not really sure how to say it. Hridaya. Basically, you've seen lots of people do this. So we take the fingers, we interlace them just a little bit, and then we bring our thumbs together, so we make a heart. And we just bring them right in front of our heart. So this mudra symbolizes an open heart. It helps to allow us to have an open heart. We draw shoulders down. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale through nose. Maybe exhale through mouth. 2 more. Inhale, feel the belly, feel the ribs, feel the chest. Exhale, release. Almost like you're melting a little bit. Last time, big inhale. Let's bring palms to heart center. The light in me shines the light in each and every one of you. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed the class. And again, there's spots where you can add on, you can build a little bit more, you can use your options, and enjoy. Just keep breathing. Namaste.